Hey, of course I get it. You heard it already anywhere? This is really new stuff for you, not for me either, but you really took the chance to test this concept for yourself anyway. Hi everybody there, Max here. Welcome to this channel in which I will try my best to share the best I have about personal finance, life hacks and awareness. Today we're going to discuss about the nuts and bolts of 5 productivity hacks which, although not my personal invention, they are nevertheless skipped from a vast majority of people, perhaps because they are perceived not being the last shining object everybody's making hype about, or maybe they are assumed to be too simplistic and basic. Still, assume that they are anyway wonderful basic, and when I say that I mean powerful foundation to build more advanced concepts from. Guaranteed that they are working wonders for me personally, as I'm trying myself to learn them by application. And sure enough, you're gonna get even better results than I am. So, enough for an introduction, let's start from the very top, that is, number 1, take breaks, and I mean frequent breaks. Yes, like I said before, this is no breaking news anyway, but I missed the chance to really try constantly to implement this concept in my daily routine. And let me say it, I had it all wrong. Now, to get on the subject, let's make a step behind and examine the thing from a different perspective. Think it for a second. We're living in a 24/7 society nowadays, and we are all focused on our goals and the means to accomplish them, and the meaning they have in our own personal life. So, it's pretty reasonable and human, let me say, to go for them with as much passion and energy as we can. And lost in the task, in the flow of the moment, we just forget to stop. The problem is that you are losing big if you don't implement stopping regularly, because you could just stop and check. Have a glass of water, breathe for a moment and check out if you are still on the task at hand, or you just lost that focus and you need to readjust. Or you could very simply stop and smile. Just ease on yourself and be pleased with the work you made so far. It will help you also see the end of the task not that far away. Or, and this is my favorite one, number 3, stop and go. Just stop it for a few minutes, get outside, get a breath of fresh air, have a quick talk with somebody you know, or the stranger in the street. Just stretch your body or muscle in the open air, in the sun, or in the moonlight if you prefer to. How beautiful is that? Now, as I tried it for myself, I found something really interesting. Not only my productivity doubled, but also I didn't have to come to the end of the day destroyed for the stress. And also I found out that my moments of breaks were the moments of the day where new ideas started to come from nowhere somehow. And if you think about it, it makes a whole lot of sense. You cannot have a place for new stuff if you're laser focused with something else, don't you? All in all, this is a great improvement with a little tiny shift in thinking. And you even do not need a data scientist for that. I just allow myself, for instance, to have a break of 5 minutes every 35 3/4 minutes of work, of brain work, and something like an hour of physical work. Why? Because I found myself, for my physiology, that brain work is much more intensive than physical work. So I allow myself to work physically a bit longer. And also found that when you're working physically, the time tends to expand, your experience of time tends to expand. So you tend not to mind about it that much. So in conclusion, as a rule of thumb, stop for 5 minutes every 30 minutes of brain work and every 3/4 an hour of physical work. Try for yourself. Number 2, plan. Abraham Lincoln said the now famous quote, "Give me 6 hours to chop a tree and I will spend the first 3 sharpening the axe." Well, there's not very much left to say about it. And still so many of us, and that's me for instance, failed to include this habit in their regular work routine, and let me say in their life framework or reference in general. And this is a beautiful example of how stopping and shifting your habits can make a huge difference. For instance, just stop for a moment and think about the evident, clear benefit it could give to your personal finance results, lifestyle results. Now, let's assume, for instance, you want to go for a trip in Italy and you want to bring your family with you and have a beautiful experience. Makes sense to plan something in advance? Something like allocating resources, maybe money, booking your hotel, make sure that you have free time to go, the right period of time of the year to go, the school of your kids. Makes sense? Would it make sense that you take care of the different pieces of the jigsaw so that everything will fall smoothly in place and everybody will have the best experience ever? Isn't that logical?
Yeah, makes sense.
Exactly. This is how you do that. This is how you stack the probability of everything going in your favor. This is how you stack the best probabilities to have everything you want in life accomplished. Visiting Italy, for instance, and maybe even have an ice cream with me. And as a final word about planning, it is a time-tested, incredible time-saving resource as well. If you plan in advance and designate the time for every single task, you will reduce greatly the amount of time you waste just thinking about, okay, I'm done with that, what do I do next? But as a side note, be clear about allocating time, because planning is not just making a list for today. Just be smart, improve yourself, allocate a specific amount of time for every task needed for the day, and just try to finish your assignment within the time scheduled. You can use a timer, you can use a smartphone, you can use an app, whatever. Now, of course, it won't work all the time, but we'll take a deeper look at it in a couple of minutes. Stay tuned. And now, by the way, if you're finding some value in my content, please give me a high five and click the like button here under right now. It will help me immensely. It will be a living proof that my stuff is making some positive impact, and not only it will make my content available to a larger number of people who will possibly benefit from them. You know, in the end, I'm just a regular guy and I will appreciate it a lot. Thank you. And now, let's get back on board. If you are interested in these concepts and have the willing to bring them in your habits or daily routine, you will have to allot some time so that they will become effectively a habit and they will come smoothly at times as needed. Look, pay attention. I said you will be investing time, and time is the most precious commodity we have. You cannot get time back, don't you? And that brings us to the next concept. So you have a plan, don't you? Then 3, stick to it.
Stick to it, man.
Now come on, Max, are you kidding me? You say you have your time planned and planned in advance so that as long as you are in the heat of the operation and running your stuff, emotions are not interfering in the process, and then you just start make changes on the fly or just ignoring totally what you planned before? Well, there's a number of reasons why this can indeed happen. For instance, you could be driven by a wild enthusiasm and just demand too much from yourself. Or you might as well be just burnt out and psychologically unable to stick to your plan, even if you genuinely wanted to. Here, for the sake of simplicity, we are just assuming that you are plain lazy at the moment. And aside note, those are serious issues that we would be checking out in common videos. Yes, of course, you can be ready with your plan, but plain lazy to follow it. So for that, be easy on yourself. But anyway, try to do your best. That's it. We will take care of the subject and of your results in a minute. Is the only way that you're because and let me say it, I had it all wrong.